Nintendo is Bowser and the consumer is Mario. Like, that's how they feel.
Angel Knot.
Salutations to the nations. What's good, Angel Knots? It's your boy, Young Sinai. All right, so today we're going to be looking at the end of video game collecting by Happy Console Gamer. Shout outs to him. Love his videos. Huge fan of his channel. But let's see what he's talking about here.
So welcome back to another episode. And yes, the episode is called The End of Collecting as we know it.
Yo, my bad to stop it so soon. That music right there used to freak me out as a kid. Like when I first heard that castle music in Super Mario, I ran and hid behind my dad. I was like 5 or something, like true story.
It's a really strange time, and I really wanted to deep dive into this topic, and especially the topic of Nintendo key cards and what that means and what it is for everybody, who's right, who's wrong. And yes, this is about the game keycard situation. And I'll ask you guys, what do you think of the game keycard situation? Let me know down below. This is not an easy video for me to make, I can tell you that. Because 30 years ago, I got in my car and I drove to a video game store, and guess what I picked up? I picked up Chrono Trigger. Here's my original copy right here.
See?
And I bought it.
Yo, that's the thing about these YouTubers, man. Like these big YouTubers, they just be low-key flexing. You feel me? They just low-key flexing on us. That's like Metal Jesus when he was showing off his gaming house, basically. And he just like, just happened to do some B-roll over Earthbound. Like, we see you. But he actually had a pretty good story of when he got Chrono Trigger. I remember him telling that story.
I paid $99 for it. I came home, I played it, I finished it. A beloved classic for all time. And for me, 30 years later, it's still sitting up on my shelf, and I can still go and put it in my Super Nintendo and play it. I can't believe we're at a time where this concept would be challenged, but it is. Not only challenged, but completely changed forever. And so, let's get into it. So Nintendo Switch 2 got announced, and they announced key cards. And everybody was talking about it. I was talking about it with my friends. We're like, what does this mean?
I still don't have a Switch 2 yet. Yeah, y'all thought I was just going to fold and buy one. See, that just shows you do not know my budget. I've seen the Switch 2. I got a little video where I played it in Target, but also go to like a esports room at a community center near me, and they have a bunch of Switch 2s. Those things look pretty dope. I ain't gonna lie.
And I want to say something interesting to begin with. I'm going to be on Nintendo's side just for this bit to begin with. I think they were sitting there behind the scenes and going, okay, we got a new system coming out, and game cartridges are very expensive. Games have become bigger. How can we compensate and help everybody? And I don't think Nintendo went into it to be anti-consumer. I don't think...
Wrong. All right, I'm sorry, Happy Console Gamer. You my guy. But I gotta disagree with you. Everybody knows that Nintendo hates their fans, okay? They hate their customers. They will do anything they can to be anti-consumer. So I don't even know the argument you about to make. I low-key only kind of understand the whole game card collection. It's like kind of confusing to me. I ain't gonna hold you. But one thing I do know is that Nintendo hates their fans, okay?
Even thought of it.
Nintendo is Bowser and the consumer is Mario. Like, that's how they feel.
That way. They thought, how can we give video gamers our audience, how can we give them what they want, the consumer, what they want, but also appeal to these gigantic games? And
No. When has Nintendo ever thought about what the consumer wants? If they thought about what the consumer wants, then they would sell us virtual console games again. If they thought about what the consumer want, then they wouldn't keep making us buy the same Super Mario World 37 times on 8 different consoles.
they created the game key card, where it's a card where the game is not on it. You put it in your Nintendo Switch 2 and you download the game from Nintendo Switch 2 servers. And then the game magically appears. Isn't that amazing? But you can take the cartridge and you can sell it.
Let me hear that again.
At an EB game.
Let me hear that again. I'm really trying to wrap my mind around this.
To become bigger, how can we compensate and help everybody? And I don't think Nintendo went into it to be anti-consumer. I don't think they even thought of it that way. They thought, how can we give video gamers, our audience, how can we give them what they want, the consumer, what they want, but also appeal to these gigantic games? And they created the game key card, where it's a card.
Okay, it's a card.
Where the game is not on it.
But the game's not on it.
You put it in your Nintendo Switch 2 and you
put it in the Switch 2. It's a card, but the game is not on it. And you put it in the Switch 2.
You download the game from Nintendo Switch 2 servers.
So they selling us blank VHS tapes. They selling us blank CDs. That's what I'm getting. It sounds to me like they wanted us to do the work. You feel me? They're going to charge you more and then have you do the work. They're like, yo, we don't got time to install this game. Do it yourself.
And then the game magically appears. Isn't that amazing? But you can take the cartridge and you can sell it. And at an EB Games or whatever you would want to do with it at that point. They think that, hey, we're doing a great service here because we give the customer exactly what they want. They will get.
Yo, I need a haircut, man. This is crazy. Look at my lining. Oh my gosh. I got a widow's peak, man, but them mother looking tragic. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I need to get a haircut. Golly.
The game, and they can have a physical game that they can keep.
I gotta flip my hat around or something. Yeah, my bad. That was distracting me. Golly.
But they seem to have missed everything else. Everything else. I want to say something really brutal here, and I don't say it lightly. Nintendo created their cartridges to hold games on them so people can play them. This is their job. This is what they do. This is not my job.
That's what I just said. Okay, I was like, maybe I'm just not getting it, but no, that's what I just said.
This is not my job. I wouldn't be very good at that job. It's not my thing, for sure. I'm not part of Nintendo. I'm not part of that ecosystem at all. My job is to talk about video games and enjoy video games.
They straight want you to download your own game and they're gonna charge you, have the audacity to charge you more.
Hopefully, and to enjoy that entire process. And I've been talking about video games for probably the last 40 years with my friends, colleagues, you guys, when I bump into you, down in the comments, everywhere. And I enjoy what I do. Nintendo has one job, and I don't want to sound really brutal here, but it's brutal.
No, go brutal.
They created a 64 gigabyte cartridge that is insufficient. That was the other thing. It's insufficient. They can't get all of the data on there for certain games, especially gigantic games. You know, Persona 3 Reload. Great games, by the way. Nothing against the games. The games are great. But they won't fit on
the games are always good. It's the company that sucks. The company sucks.
A 64 gigabyte cartridge. So they think it's a great idea that you will just download the game. But it's not, because it just completely fills up your Nintendo Switch, and then you have to delete other things, and it defeats the entire purpose of collecting. And we're going to get into all the details of that.
When has Nintendo ever cared about collecting? When have they ever cared about game preservation? I'm sorry, happy console gamer, but Nintendo don't care about this. They don't care about this. They don't care about you. They don't care about me. All they care about is dollar bills, man.
All right, I hope you're ready.
Nintendo's job was to create a cartridge or whatever format they wanted to put the games on. And they took this other direction. And it's a direction that I really do not like. Some people will say something amazing and they would be right about this. Hey, PlayStation's been doing it for years. Xbox has been doing it for years. You're right. You're 100% right. In fact, I bought this for my wife. Baldur's Gate 3 here. This is the PS5 version, the Japanese version, because we want to have a physical version of the game where, guess what? Most of the game is not on here. We had to download it.
That's why when I bought, so, all right, y'all. I hate to say it, man. I hate to break it to y'all. But game preservation is a joke. These modern day games, there ain't no preserving them. You know, I bought a PS5 and I bought the disc version because I'm like, okay, well, that's what's up. You know what I'm saying? Because I'll be able to play the game on the console, have the disc. What am I buying this for? Just the artwork? It's only half a game. You know what I'm saying? So thankfully I got a Blu-ray player out of that mug. You feel me? But these ain't your daddy video games.
But I guess I like the idea of getting a physical copy. I didn't know how much wasn't on here until I got it. But there's a lot of PS5 games like that. A lot. And a lot of Xbox games.
I can see if, you know, they did that like with the DLC or whatever. But just doing that with the game itself, man, that should be illegal.
Games like that. But Nintendo was our last vigil. They were the last ones holding on.
You should have knew Nintendo didn't have our back when they said the game was gonna be $90 or $80, whatever they said. You should have knew. You should have threw any hope that you had for Nintendo right out the window.
To physical media. So I was kind of like going, you know, PlayStation, I don't really like what you're doing, and Xbox, I don't really like this. But, you know, Nintendo kind of, I don't know what it was in my mind. They kind of evened it out. I was like, well, you know, I can still collect on Nintendo and stuff like that. I can get some of those games on Nintendo.
I'm playing Link's Awakening on the Game Boy right now. Yo, I am so lost. I'm in the beginning of the game too. I came up against this raccoon or something. He was like, talking to me, you're going to be lost. Yo, I've been lost for like 3 months. I'm not lying. I got to do a walkthrough. That's how lost I am.
And I've really enjoyed collecting for the Nintendo Switch. Look at this beautiful, beautiful copy that I know in 30 years I can put into my Nintendo Switch and I can play it. Where that's the other thing. That's the other problem with the game keycard. What happens in the future? What happens when the system, the Switch 2, is out of fancy and they're onto the Switch 4 and they're like, you know.
I mean, I'll tell you exactly what happens. You know what I'm saying? I'll tell you exactly what happens. So I've never been into Mario Maker. It seems pretty dope, but I never got into it. There was a huge Mario Maker community, okay? And they had so many levels that they made. Man, Nintendo came up with the new one. Them servers are no longer up, to my understanding. And people had spent thousands of hours making these levels. Nintendo does not care about you. They do not care about their fans. Continue to give Nintendo your money because they make great games. I'm not saying to boycott Nintendo. I'm just saying know what you're getting. You know what I'm saying? It's like what's Nintendo like? It's like eating at the best restaurant. Like they food is like But you know they don't wash their hands. Like, you know, it'd be cross-contamination. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing wrong with a little salmonella. You feel me? That's what it's like dealing with Nintendo.
What? Just kill all the stuff for Switch 2. And I just, like you, a lot of you, don't have the confidence. I don't have the confidence to rely on game keycard servers for an indefinite amount of time. One day they will be offline, and one day there will be no games. All the games you bought will be gone. Another interesting fact is that people are not enjoying the game keycards. They're not. And I just want to start by saying that I initially, and in every video about the Nintendo Switch 2, have said how much I do not like the game keycards. In fact, when I went to the Nintendo Experience 2, I was asked by a lot of Nintendo higher-ups, and I'm not mentioning names or who anybody is, we're not doing any of that, but they just asked me like a simple question, which is a normal question. What do you think of the Switch 2? And I said, you know what? I really like Mario Kart World, and I really like Bonanza. It's weird, but I like it. It's interesting. But I don't like the key cards, I said. I don't like them, and my audience doesn't like them. Nintendo knows. Nintendo knows, but they're kind of caught in a bit of a hard space now because they've committed to this format. And everybody's not liking the format. Nobody wants to collect the format. I will say that I will buy every single first-party Nintendo game that is released not as a game keycard. So obviously Mario Kart World, obviously Donkey Kong Bonanza I picked up, and it seems this is just off the internet the other day. I saw this. It's very fascinating. The top 10 selling Switch 2 games on Amazon are physical copies of the games, not keycard versions. Physical copies of the games, like Cyberpunk.
Do the keycard versions cost less? Is that a thing? Because I feel like that would be like, you know, a benefit of buying one. Do the keycard versions of Nintendo Switch 2 games cost less? According to Google, it just gave me two different answers. Google don't even know. It said yes, they cost less, and then I had to reload it, and it says no. Nintendo Switch 2 game cards. Excuse me. Blah blah blah. So I don't know. Y'all let me know. Do they cost less? I doubt it because I don't know about you, but I've been watching the video and I've been saying that Nintendo hates their customers. So if it was the Nintendo way, Nintendo would not put the cartridge, or I'm sorry, not put the game on the cartridge, then charge you more for the downloading experience. You feel me?
In there and quite a few other games. So people are kind of...
Yo, fun fact about Happy Console Gamer, because I've watched quite a few of his videos and I saw when he was like showing his setup. Did you know he's actually sitting on the floor right now? He's not sitting like at a desk in a chair. He's sitting on the floor. He said that's just how he feel comfortable doing it, man. And shout outs to him.
Answering back. And yes, is everybody going after Nintendo on this one? They are, because they were the last ones holding up the pillars of collecting and of game cartridges having the entire game. How many videos have you seen and how many collections do you own personally that have gigantic red boxes behind you or in front of you or beside you, wherever, maybe in the garage, somewhere, of all of those Nintendo Switch games? We were proud to own for the Nintendo Switch. I was proud. I was so enjoying collecting on the Nintendo Switch. I can't even tell you, like a lot of you. And it just feels like the rug is being pulled from all underneath us, and it is heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking.
So one of the reasons that I'm not excited about trying to buy the Switch 2 is that it's like limited backwards compatibility, which is trash. I hope they fix that, like in an update or something, because I'm trying to consolidate my handheld collection. I'm not trying to have a Switch 1 and a Switch 2. I would like to be able to just give my OLED to like my kids or something, and then I have a Switch 2. But having the games divided on two consoles, like, what? They have to fix that, right?
I really, so great example.
Videos about Nintendo made me mad. I'm looking at myself and I'm like, dang, my face all scrunched up.
You know, I'm a big East fan. Maybe you know that. But I was so excited to see that they're bringing Celcetter Memoir to Switch 1. And I was like, yes, I'm definitely picking that little collector's item up. And yeah, because like the game's going to be on there. And that's how I think. I'm like, the game's going to be on there. Of course I'm going to get it that way. That's cool. And the day before, I had the opposite reaction when I saw East 10 Nordics Proud. That's kind of like the DLC.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and end the video here. If y'all want to see the rest of the video, make sure that you go check out Happy Console Gamer. Link will be in the description. But y'all already know how I feel, man. Nintendo hates your guts. For real. Nintendo hates your guts. Hate my guts. And they say, give me your money. I don't care about nothing you got to say. And I know you go buy this new Mario. I know you go buy this new Zelda. I know you go buy this Kirby. So shut up and deal with it. That's how they feel. And they right. I ain't gonna lie. They right. I'm like, yo, take my money. It's so sad. Oh my gosh. But all right, y'all. God bless and salutations to the nations. Peace.
Angel 9.